to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. As a reminder, the purpose of Scripts and Dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So, with that said, many people will say, that's not how I sound, and I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So, read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing, and I think it'll work out. All right, everybody, and welcome to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast as we dive into the world of buyer objections. In this engaging episode, two experienced agents, Debbie and Emily, take on the roles of buyer and agents to demonstrate effective communication strategies for overcoming objections in real estate. Listen in as Debbie and Emily raise objections such as, I can find homes on my own, we're just looking, and I'm in a lease. Discover how they both masterfully address each objection using proven scripts and techniques. Learn from their role-play sessions and gain valuable insights into handling objections with finesse. Improve your communication skills and boost your confidence when dealing with potential buyers. Whether you're a seasoned professional or new to the industry, this episode provides a supportive learning environment to enhance your real estate prowess. Let's get into this. Today, I want to go over buyer objections.
Okay.
So the goal is to overcome the objections. The goal is to overcome objections with the buyer throughout the whole process. I'll explain that in a minute. The intention is to obviously overcome those in a way that the conversation can continue to flow. And obviously, you meet those objections. I mentioned this in the past too, that objections are not necessarily bad. They're asking questions, or they're putting up barriers because of something that they may have not thought about, or they may be questioning themselves, and it's actually a form of having a discussion. So it can be a good thing.
Sure. They want confirmation.
Yes. And
they want someone to tell them they're doing the right thing. They're unsure, so they need someone to say, no, this is okay, you're ready. I think.
Right.
Not everybody, but some people who are having doubts because it's a scary move, right? Especially if it's your first home. Scary.
It definitely is. And I think people should ask questions, and we call those sometimes objections, but they're not necessarily saying no. They're just questioning things because they may be scared. They may be, genuinely have a question that has not been answered yet. There's multiple reasons. So before we jump into this, let me explain the objections and where they're coming from. There are 21 objections that I have identified, and these objections are in different phases. So some come up in the buyer presentation, some come up in and primarily those are when the buyer presentation ones come up, they're like, we're just kind of looking around, or I'm not sure that I want to work with an agent, all that type of stuff. But objections to hiring an agent are one of the ones that we're going to start with today, the three. I can't, I can find homes on my own. We're just looking, and I am in a lease. And then some other ones that we'll work on in future. We don't have the money to buy right now. You've only been in the business for a few months. I don't want to meet you in your office. Actually, do we go over those too? Yeah, we go over those tomorrow. Some other objections are objections to signing an agreement. So I don't want to sign anything today. I want to be free to work with other agents. Why can't I work with other agents? Why do I need to sign an agreement? And I have a real estate agent. And then I'm not going to go through all the rest of them, but objections to making a decision. And then lastly is, and there's a whole bunch of objections within that category. And then there's another category, objections during offers and negotiations. And there's a whole bunch of objections within there too. So for today, we're going to start out with the objections to hiring an agent. And then we'll get into some, later on this week, we'll get into some of the objections to signing an agreement.
So are we going to start with the I can find homes on my own? Is that?
Yeah, we're just going to go over those three. I can find homes on my own. We're just looking, and I'm in a lease. So we're just going to stick to those three scripts.
Okay.
I don't have the goals and the requirements and the intentions on here, but we already went over them. And like I said, the real intention is to help them overcome whatever it is that they're looking at and to make them feel comfortable with working with you. So those are the three that we're going to be going over. So you can mix and match them in any way and go from there.
Okie dokie.
And if you don't like the wording, we can rephrase it, however, but it's the gist of it.
Okay.
Are you the agent or am I the agent?
You're the agent.
I'm the agent. Okay. So what do you think, Debbie? Are you ready to start looking?
Oh, you know what? Sorry. The one thing about this and how to practice it is, since Emily's the agent, Debbie is the client. So it's her actually saying, you know what, Emily, I appreciate your time. I can find homes on my own. That's basically how it gets started versus a knock knock or a ring ring. You're already in mid conversation. This is how they say it.
Okay. Look, Emily, you seem like, you're very knowledgeable and, and a go-getter and good communicator, but we're just looking right now. And I almost think I could just find a home on my own.
Okay, well, I can appreciate that. I get that you're just looking, but it is my job as your agent to help you find the right home. I have access to a lot more than you guys probably do. So given, the information of all your wants and needs, I think I can find you something that kind of dials in on more of what you're looking for. I have a list of homes here. If you want to take a peek, I get that you can, you want to also search on your own, and that's fine too. But I have a lot of up-to-date technological tools that can, kind of hone in on what you're looking for in the neighborhood you're looking in and at the price you're searching for. So you're not going home to home and going through, endless open houses and all that. I can set up private appointments for you. So you don't have to deal with, the pushy agent at the open house trying to get you your business, because you already have me taking care of you and, kind of streamlining the process. Does that make sense?
Well, a little bit, but every day when I get on my laptop first thing in the morning, because I've put in kind of my own criteria, Zillow sends me out 10 homes that they think I would like. And and to me that it's pretty good. If I see something I think I'd be interested in, I could just call the listing agent to get an appointment.
Absolutely, you could, but don't you want somebody representing your best interest? Because the listing agent is representing the seller's best interest. And if
I,
you have an agent working just for you, I'm looking out for your best interest to make sure I can get the negotiations right. It's fine if you want to look at homes, but why don't you let me set up the appointments and I can go with you? That way you're not feeling pressure from someone trying to sell you the house.
well, I was told by my neighbor, that, that the only real reason to have a realtor would be for the paperwork. But then, she said just have a reputable escrow company take care of everything.
You can do that, but like I said, an escrow company isn't going to negotiate on your behalf. They're more like a middle ground third party that just kind of where everybody puts everything and they disperse everything out where it goes at the end. So I think you need a professional person who, like I said, negotiating so you get the best price and the best bang for your buck. You don't pay me anything. It comes out of the price of the person selling the home. So even more,
But wouldn't that be a selling point for them if I said, oh, I'm not using a realtor, and then they're saving that money from paying the 2.5% to a realtor?
however, you may end up paying more for the house because you don't have anybody negotiating on your behalf. And you don't have anybody going in and doing the visual inspection of the home and maybe finding something that could, potentially detract from the value of the home.
But wouldn't that come out when the inspector does the inspection?
Yeah, absolutely. It should. But are they going to use their inspector or are you going to use your own, or how's that
Well,
going to?
I would think that'd be a conflict of interest if they use their own. I would probably hire my own.
So, okay. So if you feel that you want to do all that, that's up to you, but I'm the person who makes it easier for you and streamlines the process. So if that's something that you want to take away and put all that stress on yourself, that's your choice. I'm here to work for you. So like I said, you don't pay me anything, so you're not losing any money, but you're having somebody kind of lead the way to make sure you're protected.
Well, I kind of see what you're saying, but I think for now I'm just gonna try it on my own. And I have your card and everything, and so far, so I have been contacted, from a couple different agents. I'll keep you in mind.
Well, that's terrific, Debbie. I would be happy to work for you. I think I can bring a lot more to the table than anybody else because I focus on my clients on a one-on-one basis. So if you feel that's something that's important to you and someone who represents your best interests, both your time and financially, then please give me a call. I mean, at the end of the day, it is up to you how much service you want. And I feel that I can bring you the best.
Okay, well, thank you for your input and everything. And like I said, I'll keep you in mind should I change my mind.
Okay. Good luck to you, Debbie. And I'm here if you have any questions or even if, we don't work together, I'm here to help you if you have any questions or concerns.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, we can't win them all, right?
Wow. He was tough.
Yeah. It's interesting because Debbie Buyer mentioned escrow, and for some reason, it appears that she thinks escrow is going to do some of that negotiation for her. So I wanted
just the paperwork.
just the paperwork. So I wanted to ask the question, what is the purpose of escrow?
Just to do the paperwork and well, you'd still have to do the title search too.
Escrow is like a third party that just holds everything
Right.
for the two parties.
Right. Mm-hmm. They're not going to do paperwork. they're not going to negotiate. They're not going to do any of that. They are a third party that takes the instructions from the paperwork that has already been negotiated by the buyers and the sellers via their real estate agents. And they're going to follow those instructions to a T and say, okay, this is what the buyers wants, this is what the seller wants. And then and only then will they start to disperse money per the instructions. And because, it's their job to protect the buyers and the sellers in every way that they possibly can. So they don't do the negotiate, they don't do the paperwork. Right. Title, you can transfer through title, but even then, they're not going to get into the messy part of negotiations. They'll process the paperwork for you, but if those things are not properly written down and disclosed, I guarantee you that they are not going to put themselves on the chopping block to be open for liability later on down the road. So I just wanted to make that point because we may have a client that comes along that says, I'm going to do it all myself and I'm going to rely on escrow and title and my own will to get this stuff done, and that's fine and fantastic. They just need to be aware that it's not as easy as it may seem or your neighbor might make it seem. So, but yeah, it's a good point. I love the script because it does prove that we can't win them all. These all can't win.
I tried and then I gave up. I'm like, I can't get her.
You did a great job. I thought you did a great job. Yeah.
I think maybe
I was ready to hang up. Fine.
Well, the good news is
click.
Hey.
Well, the good news is we get to flip the script, and now it's Emily's turn.
I'm so nice, though. I would never.
All right. Well, let's give it a shot and see how it goes.
Okay. So, Debbie, like I already told you, I'm in a lease right now, so I can't buy a house. I still have 6 months left on the lease. I told you I was just looking. So your incessant phone calls are kind of frustrating me. I can find homes on my own. I'm not ready to sign with a realtor. And like I said, I'm 6 months out and I'm just looking.
Well, Emily, I understand. And I hope I haven't, made too many calls. I just, with people that I care about, my clients or potential clients getting in the best deal that they can. And the market is going to change. May 10th, everything's supposed to shift. And I just don't want you to miss out. In the meantime, then there's a lot of things you're going to need to do to prepare to get into a new home. And the first thing would be to see a lender, see if there's anything you're going to need to do to fix any potential issues, and also get on a drip system so you can see what's out there and what's available at what price. And once you have your pre-approval, you'll know where you should be looking, etc. And until you're ready, I can just put you on the drip system and you can check it out, whenever you have time. And that way, if you should have any questions, I'm always available to help. And I do have 3 superb lenders that have different programs for everyone. And since this is going to be your first home, I just think if you had some guidance so you don't get, stressed about all the potential legalities and everything else that can happen.
Legalities? Oh my God.
Yes. Well,
more. Do I need a lawyer?
Almost. California is a very litigious state, and that's why the purpose of having a realtor is to take the burden off of you, to make sure that, your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, and so nothing comes back, to bite you later on, especially with your first home. You want it to be, um, you want it to be a happy occasion and not, find out all the things that went wrong afterwards. And this way, you set yourself up for success. You don't want in, 4 to 5 months from now, before your lease ends, to find out you don't qualify, or there's a problem that you have to go through, the credit bureaus to fix something that's a mistake, things like that. And the
Well,
purpose of a lender is to help, to give you knowledge, and
but
having
I
a
don't want to get
realtor.
my credit pulled right now if I'm not buying right now.
No, what they'll do, it's called a soft pull. So it doesn't do anything. Of course, when you do go at the end, they will do a hard pull when you decide which lender, whether it be, one of mine or your bank or credit union, they'll do a hard pull. And they'll do another one while the home is in escrow, just to make sure things haven't changed. So there's more to buying a home than most people think. There's things that need to happen. There's timelines that need to be met. You're going to, the home inspection, if there's repairs needed. It's a time-consuming process, and the more knowledgeable you are, the easier it will be, and it'll seem seamless instead of struggling. Well, what do I do next? You know, uh, and it seems easy to say, well, I can find it on my own, or, I still have 6 months left on my lease. But in reality, you really need to start thinking about each step of the way now. So you're prepared that when you see a home, you say, in 4 months from now, you're looking on Zillow, just an example, and you see this home on the street you've always wanted to live, and you haven't spoken or gotten approval from a lender. That home's probably going to be gone, and you'll always think about that home. Oh my gosh, I really wanted to live on, Severn Drive, and that, you know, that house that's on the corner. And then, that's the things you need to think about and start thinking about now, especially if there's something that you need to fix to get pre-approval. And then once you get a pre-approval, you'll know exactly what price range you can be looking in. Uh, and that's the purpose of having a realtor, to help you through every step of the way. And I'm here, for you and what your needs are. And I am a good communicator, and I would get you the best house at the best price.
Well, I think I can find something on my own when I'm ready. And I'm just probably going to use my bank. I don't know. They have home loan programs there. So I'm probably going to do that. They even have like a home finding service at my bank. So I think that's pretty cool. I might just use that.
Well, the thing about banks, and they usually only have about 2 loan vehicles that they have to offer. Once you start talking to lenders, you'll be surprised.
I don't need a vehicle loan.
No, not a vehicle. Different types of mortgage that they offer. They only have a few, whereas the typical mortgage lender has several programs. There's programs for first-time buyers.
What about that new down payment thing that I heard about? What's that about?
It ended. They're already out of funds. It was just on California Association of Realtors yesterday that it is no longer available.
Didn't it just come out?
Yeah, but so many people jumped on it that they are out of the funding to go ahead with that.
So do you think in 6 months they'll refund it, or when I'm ready?
Well, I mean, I'm not privy to know that, but there always are, first responders. And you are a teacher, you could do the first responders programs they have available. There's
Okay.
so many different loans available, and mortgage lenders typically have, the most to choose from, where banks, they only have two selections. And I mean, it's good always. I always tell my clients, get two or three, opinions, because the rates, if you're going to be paying 30 years on a home, you want the best rate. I mean, you could always refinance if rates, um, aren't go down a lot. They are saying, projecting by the end of this year that the rates will continue to go down. So hopefully
What
we'll
is
be
it?
at.
What's
Hmm?
it right now? Am I going to be okay in 6 months, or is it going to go up?
It's at 6.37 currently, which is down, because at one point it was right under 7%. So we are going in the right direction. It all depends, of course, what the feds do, if they raise the interest rates, et cetera. But right now, it's looking like the housing market is a little on the downside and the rates are going down. So this is a great time to start looking and have, all your ducks in a row, so that when you are ready, you can just hit the pavement running.
Got it. Well, I'm going to just look on my own, and if you want to send me your lenders, because that sounds like something I might want to look into.
Okay, I will do that. And I already have your email information and everything. And if you do decide you want to have me as your agent, I can put you on the drip system, which would show you everything ahead of when you would see it on Zillow. Um, you know, it would show you things as soon as it hit the MLS, which is the multiple listing service. So,
Okay.
but I will send you over a list of the lenders, and you have my card. And I know there's going to be questions, so don't hesitate to call me if you have a question.
Okay, Debbie.
Okay,
You're
thank
going to
you
call
for
me
your
next
time.
week, because I can't, once a week is too much.
Oh, no, I will not. You have my information, and
Okay.
um, you keep me in mind. And
Call me in 6 months, Debbie.
okay,
All right. Well, thanks.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thoughts?
That was a win. She won. She's going to send me her lenders, and then Chuck is going to call me incessantly.
How do you feel? How did you feel, Debbie?
Debbie talked a lot.
So that's the
That's how
one.
I felt.
That's the one thing that was standing out in front of it to me. Like there was
Yeah.
so much talking, very little questions asked of Emily.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
felt like there was nowhere for me to interject, especially if it's on the phone, because you're not looking at the person. You know what I mean?
Right.
I felt like it was just almost like a run-on sentence that kept going and going. I'm like, oh my God. But it was,
Yeah.
I thought what you said was good.
Hmm.
Right. But we can't win with the amount of words that we speak. We do have to ask questions like, tell me what's going on, what's on your mind. What
Hmm.
changed? Is there another way to look at it? How else, in your opinion, would you move forward if you were me or whatever, you know?
Hmm.
But I do feel like, because it's 9:08 right now, and I think we
Hmm.
started at 3 till so 8:57.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So it went on for about a good 10 minutes, and the majority of it was you speaking.
Right.
And, you know,
I know, I
Yeah.
caught myself saying
Yeah.
that. And I said something else, I can't remember now, that I never
Well, I
say.
said Darren's at the end of the day.
I heard that. Bit of the laugh. Look, again, just for practice, this is what they are. Objections will come up. We'll handle more tomorrow. We're going to go over, we don't have the money to buy right now. You've only been in the business for a few months. I don't want to meet you in the office, in your office. And
I want to
then
meet you in a dark alley at midnight.
that's right. Where is it appropriate to meet buyers at?
The public
The
settings usually.
office.
It depends, I think, how well you know them.
Well, and I think too, if it's a seller, you'd want to meet at their home. But if it's a buyer, ideally you'd like to meet them at the office unless there's a reason why they can't meet there, like if they're handicapped or something.
Yeah, traditionally buyers are met at the office. I would say nowadays also you can meet on Zoom. You could also meet them at their current residence, as long as you qualify them in a way that you feel comfortable meeting them. Traditionally, like you said, sellers are met at the house because
Mhm.
you have to see the house, but at the same time, you have to exercise caution in either case. To me, there's no difference between people, whether they're a buyer or a seller. You still have to exercise caution,
Right. Hmm.
and that's critical. So, but otherwise,
I met my potential buyers, the people that moved to the Philippines. I met them at a Starbucks because that's what they wanted to do.
yeah.
Well, that's pretty safe too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, you
And they
do a
bought
lot,
me a coffee
and you do a
and a
lot,
pastry.
and you do a lot of open houses, so you can meet your buyers at the open house too. And sometimes you can do the whole thing right there, depending on how busy the open house is. Sometimes it's not busy at all, and you just end up talking and
Yeah.
hit it off and go.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But I think when you invite them to the office, it's a more professional approach.
absolutely, they get to see you in your professional setting.
They take you
see,
a little more seriously.
yep.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said about going to a parking lot, taking it on an elevator up to the 7th floor, being taken to the conference room, being offered a water, all that type of stuff. It just brings a whole nother level of professionalism. So otherwise, I mean, anyways, it was a good job. We have to deal with these, so we'll work them. Good job.
Okie dokie.
All right, so that's the script. I hope that you found it very useful. To download the script, just go ahead and head over to realestatescriptspodcast.com. There'll be a link there for you to download the script. This podcast is for the purpose of education only, and it does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek out the help of your broker, coach, or mentor for specific situations. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall at Repros, California DRE number 0185345.